So one of the ways that you can try to learn Alexander technique on your own is by setting up a video camera like this and just videotaping what you're doing and pay primary attention to the head-neck-back relationship, in particular the neck, and to see what happens in certain activities. When do you tend to start tipping the head back and compress the neck, like I'm doing now? So you probably want to set the camera up on a side angle. Perhaps if you're sitting at a keyboard and just seeing what happens when you use the computer, when do you tighten the neck, tip the head back to, and then narrow the torso and make everything tighter. Another thing to look for is what happens when you raise your hands to the keyboard. So I've got my keyboard here. So as I raise my hands, does this area tighten and compress, or does it stay free? I notice with many people that whenever they raise their arm, their shoulder compresses. So whether they're lifting a beer or just lifting their BlackBerry or lifting a book or lifting a bowl of oatmeal, they're compressing. So if you're always compressing when you're doing these tasks of daily life, you're going to have some pain and diminished performance. So set up a camera, see what happens when you bring your hands to the keyboard, and what happens when you sit at the keyboard and work on your computer. Like, are you pulling down, are you tightening, are you compressing? Now, it wasn't until my third year of Alexander Technique teacher training, so this is daily training, 5 days a week, 36 weeks a year. It wasn't really until my third year that I started seeing clearly what people's compression and tension patterns were. Before, I just kind of sensed something was not right, but I didn't really have the sharp eye. So that's one of many reasons why you will find it a lot easier to learn the technique with the help of a good teacher. But perhaps you've got a sharp eye. It's a natural gift, and you can tell when someone's collapsing. You can tell yourself when you're compressing unnecessarily, tensing unnecessarily, what your muscular holding patterns are. And so with the use of a video camera, you can play it back and get a better idea of your own habits. Because that's what the Alexander Technique is all about. It's about observing your habits, letting go of the habits that don't serve you. That's basically the technique right there. Or another explanation, it's learning to expand into activity instead of compressing. Most people, when they bring their hands to the keyboard, they compress and pull down into this activity and many other activities. So with Alexander Technique, we can think up. We can think about the width across our back, across our shoulders, across our chest. Then, as you lift the hands, thinking about lengthening and widening, you're much less likely to compress than to pull down. So often the BlackBerry will just get so interesting, or the computer screen will get so interesting that you'll be pulled into it, and you have to keep watching that. Like, even if you're just like reading a book or checking your appointment booklet, like, the tendency is to pull down into whatever you're doing, particularly if it's interesting. So stop, inhibit your habitual impulses, come back to your full length and to your width, and then return to your activity from a position of